and we're talking also about the promise that Nick Clegg has made. Now, I appreciate that the words promise and Nick Clegg in the same sentence may well be encouraging mirth, if not outrage, throughout the land. But he's at it again. He's making a promise to drastically overhaul our libel laws. And Sean Gabb, director of the Libertarian Alliance, is all in favour of that, as you'd expect. Dr. Sean, thanks for joining us, my friend.
Hello, George. It's always good to be with you.
Now, are you filled with righteous anticipation that Nick Clegg will keep this promise?
Well, the thing is, George, that if he doesn't keep this promise, he'll really disappear off his own bottom. So I'm expecting that he will do his absolute best to reform the libel laws. And it's about time someone did it.
Well, tell us what he's likely to change and the extent to which you think that goes far enough.
Well, he said that he will make it difficult for foreigners to sue in the English courts for libel, and it is a disgrace. I mean, some Greek newspaper says something unpleasant about a Greek politician. You can't sue in Athens, so what happens is the Greek sues in London because someone's downloaded it from the website. That brings the law into disrepute in this country. The other thing is that he will tighten up, or he will expand, shall we say, the defence of fair comment and of public interest. Now, those are good. What I found most interesting in his speech, and it's rather ambiguous, I didn't really understand it, but what he said was something about making people prove damage. Now, that's one of the most awful things about the current libel law. You know, if you put a brick through my window, or no, if you squirt some noxious chemical through my letterbox and I sue you, I have to prove exactly how much damage you did before I can get any money out of you.
Yeah.
But if you call me a paedophile, cannibal or something, I don't have to prove that you caused me any damage whatever. I just need
It's assumed, isn't it? It's assumed that to do so would be to bring you into public opprobrium.
That's right.
And contempt and odium.
Yeah, it's a wonderful scam, isn't it? So, yes, if that is what he was saying, I would like to see people have to prove damage. Now, I can see an abstract case for the libel laws, but let's face it, the libel laws were made up, especially in the 17th century and the 18th century, and they've carried on ever since as being a means by which the rich and well-connected shut the rest of us up. Think Robert Maxwell. I mean, that's what the libel laws do.
Okay,
all right, George. You managed to skewer the Daily Telegraph, but you've probably got them with virtually any libel laws, even after the reform. So I don't think you count.
No, I wasn't going to use my own example. I mean, I take your point. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm against a privacy law, for example, because undoubtedly that's a means by which rich and powerful people shut everyone else up and keep their own skullduggery in the private rather than the public realm. I'm against the privacy law, but there must be an argument in a media which is owned by rich and powerful people who are unscrupulous in some cases, naming no Australians, whose publications regularly, routinely defame people. There must be surely some means by which that defamed person has a means of redress.
Yes, well, the ownership of the media by joint stock limited liability corporations, nothing to do with the free market, mind you, but that's a separate issue which would need to be addressed in some other way. But even if I take your point, George, the libel laws as they stand are not the way to do it. If you and Talk Sport were to libel me grossly, I could huff and puff and do what I liked. It would cost me at least £20,000 to get the case into court. You could throw money, you and Talk Sport could throw money at the lawyers.
Well, that's true, you're right. I mean, I risked £1 million or more in costs to sue the Daily Telegraph.
I'd have walked away.
If I'd lost that case, I would have been bankrupted and ruined and out of Parliament and destroyed.
Yeah, good luck to you. I'd have walked away, to be honest. I wouldn't have taken that risk. And, I don't think the libel laws as they stand are designed for ordinary people like you and me and the listeners to defend our reputation.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
And the fact that you are willing to risk bankruptcy and professional ruin doesn't really and the fact that you won doesn't justify the libel laws as they stand.
No, I agree. I'm with you on that. I'm just not sure that I trust Nick Clegg to take us all the way into harbour on this one, Doctor.
We can think what we like about Nick Clegg, but, as I said at the beginning, he has to deliver this time.
Well, come back and we'll discuss it. Dr. Sean Gabb, thanks very much, Director of the Libertarian Alliance. Well, where do you stand on Nick Clegg and the libel laws, on the sale of organs, and on David Chater's 18 months? You can let me know after the news.